Good morning, it's Tuesday. How are y'all doing today? I know you come for my singing. Did you ever know that you're my hero? Yeah, got the thumbs up from Marilyn. I'm gonna bring Miss Marilyn on. Hello, as she says, my darlings.
Sing it. Sing it.
You everything I've been up too long. I'm way
You
too
know what?
caffeinated for this.
That movie makes me cry every time I watch it, dude.
Honestly,
Every time.
Beaches, that movie, right? Was the
Yeah.
first time I was just like, life is fucking horrible. Just a quick reminder, you're promised nothing. Act accordingly. What's up, Kristen? I know. Hi, Sophie. Yeah, honestly, like,
God.
time is limited. I always like between that and one of my other favorite quotes, no one here gets out alive.
Oh God.
Jim Morrison.
Yes.
Just saying, you know?
Yes.
Just saying, no matter how cool you are. How are you today?
Evelyn's glasses. Stop wearing Evelyn's sunglasses.
These are mine.
I know. I'm giving you shit.
Okay. I'm like, I have, you probably know this. I have 3 pairs of heart glasses right now, but only because one of them has my 4th pair, the lenses broke out, and the 5th pair I lost in the ether somewhere. I left them.
Well, they're just meant for somebody else. That's what that means.
It's true. Those ones were cool. I got those. They had the black on the outside and then red on the inside.
Ooh.
And they looked really cool.
I want hot pink. Where'd you get those?
Yes. I got those ones at Torrid. I got these ones at Daiso.
I love Torrid, by the way. Torrid's one of my favorite stores to shop at.
I'm a fan. I know, me too.
My most favorite swimsuit from Torrid. My most favorite swimsuit.
Yes. They know how to, they have like clothes for women.
Yes, for women, yes. I have it's this beautiful black waist cinching one piece, and it's like high up on the hips, but it's got like almost a full butt, you know? I'm like, oh my God. It reminds me of old Hollywood, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Hi, Amber. Good to see you.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. So good to see you all. We're going to pull some cards today, but we're also going to talk about some cosmic weather, and there's a wheel of, what's that? Lunasa. And so, for those of you who don't know what Lunasa is, it's that weird looking word. How do you pronounce it? Lunasa?
Lunasa, and then some people say Lunasa, and then it's also
Lunasa. I like Lunasa. I'd have to like really switch my brain around, but I love that it sounds like the moon.
I know. Sometimes it makes it easier to remember sometimes, you know?
Yeah, Lunasa. I still won't be able to ever spell it without Google helping me, but that's okay. You can only store so much information in here, and that's why we have smartphones.
That's it. That's it.
I'm like,
we used to hold our entire friends' Rolodex and family Rolodex in our heads. Remember that? Or I don't know if you had it, but my grandparents used to have the phone book that sat right by the phone. Or the teenagers used to write the phone on the wall. Do you remember?
Yes.
And then
the phone list on the fridge was like what my mom always had, and it was like it had everything, and it's like the phone's on the fridge. But the other thing is that I can still call my BFF from her parents. I can call her parents. They still live there. So they still have a landline.
I love it. I love it.
Well, actually, I don't know if they still have a landline, but I can call it later and find out. Because I totally still know their phone number.
I still remember my grandmother's phone number, my grandfather's phone number.
Yes. Yes, kids. People remembered phone numbers. Yes. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Lindsay.
And that's about
What's
it.
Up?
Sometimes I remember my own phone number.
I do remember mine, and I remember my husband's. I'm good I'm good with numbers once I like punch things in. But I generally like. There's a few. I remember my social security number, which is what I learned in college.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents' old phone numbers because I've used their 4 digits as things before. So what's up, Corey? Hi, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome, you guys. Can you hear the beeping that happens?
I can. What's going on with that?
Okay, I'm gonna turn. That is my mole deterrent.
Yeah, that would be a people deterrent. For me.
I was like, that's what's happening. My neighbor was like, you got to let me know how it works. And I was like, well, apparently it's working really well. The moles have not come back.
And you're like, and I hate going in my backyard.
Yeah. I was like, it actually works just as well on humans. But I just put up with it knowing it's become part of my mantra of like, because I think I need to time it to know how long it goes, like how often.
You're like,
because then it could help me be like, oh, I'm going to keep time by the beeping of my mole deterrent. It does work. I got it at Lowe's. It makes a horrible beeping sound every probably 30 seconds.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, it's, but you know what?
I have a mole deterrent. I have one. And it takes a D battery inside of it. And what it does is it vibrates.
Why? I don't know what my mind. Did anybody else's mind do that? Let me know in the comments. Okay.
I just totally realized.
And then you said that it vibrated. Like even before that, it was like it was a D battery, and then it vibrates. Okay.
I just totally realized.
Yes. Oh, good. I'm not the only dirty bird in the kitchen.
For real, though. It's a mole deterrent, and
yes. And does it work?
Yeah, dude. I use one for my entire backyard, and we used to have a really
and
bad,
you don't.
We used to have a really bad mole problem, and
interesting. Well, and it doesn't make a sound.
No sound.
Okay. Well,
whisper.
I may need to figure that out because we've always had moles, and I don't want to kill them. Like you can go to the store and get like basically guns that you put down in the hole and it shoots them in the face. There was like a video of it in Coastal Store, and I was like watching, and I was like, I looked at this wasn't recent, this was like 2 years ago, but I looked at the cashier lady that was not far away, and I was like, does it shoot moles in the face? And she's like, I think so. It's a big seller. I was like, oh my God. Poor little moles. And my cat would catch them if they came out of the ground. But
yeah, well, then like Amanda said, like get a dog. Well, some dogs do. Yeah. They dig those holes for the moles, but
and then there's still holes in my yard.
Right. But in the same token, it's like, why hurt the mole? It's not doing anything. It's just burrow. Fuck.
I just wanted to stay out of the beds that I've put really nice mulch in, that I get a lot of joy out of looking at from a very Virgo perspective.
Oh no, I get it. It's like if you're growing like gardens and stuff.
Yeah, the illusion of control and perfection.
Yeah.
I just need. Yeah, holes are better than beeping. Not in this bed, but yes. I think, and I probably could just leave it on overnight, so I could try that. But yeah, it's solar powered. There's no batteries in it, Anyways.
Yeah, well.
Enough about
at least
battling nature.
Doesn't beep. So.
Yeah. I can, and it turns off. So, but yeah, well, I have, like, did you see, I'm so excited. I did a thing. I made a thing. I made red clover oil.
Very cool.
And then I made these labels, which are not perfect, which is killing me, but it's fine.
I bet I know how you made them. Our favorite program ever.
Yeah, yes, from Canva. Well, and so I made like I made a apothecary logo, which is fun. So I harvested. I'm still harvesting all this red clover. This is like, I mean, so I'm really excited. I've been harvesting all sorts of herbs and different things.
The red clover just giving to you and keeps giving to you and keeps.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, like she's back here and she's still, I had to cut her back because a bunch of her was completely dead and not produced. And I was like, oh, I think she, so I had to trim her up. But she's produced so many flowers this year, and it's really lovely. And
I love it when I go
exciting.
When I go to trim my plants, I'm like, okay, you guys need a haircut. I'm gonna give you a haircut.
Right? I know. We talk to our plants like I'm talking to them. Well, and when I'm sitting here, by the way, and I'm talking about them later, I'm like, yeah, hey, because they know. So like they know I'm talking about them. That's me personifying everything in my life. But like, yeah. And so I'll sit here sometimes and they'll be like, harvest me. Oh, you have a third eye rainbow.
Oh, I love it. It's from my crystals.
Yes, I did make my labels in Canva.
And it's way
easier than Photoshop.
But
I know how to do Photoshop.
I love Photoshop for photos. For when I'm making designs on things, I like Canva. But for my photos, Photoshop is the way to go if you know how to use it. And it is a lot more detailed, you know what I'm saying? So
if you're making, I was a marketing person by trade before like doing my own thing. And we used Photoshop and it can do so many more things. Certain things that you can't do in Canva bug the shit out of me. But I don't
know how to use it, man. And it's not.
Well, so I know how to use Canva very well. I used it but there are just some things you cannot do. Like you cannot curve text. You cannot cut out along an image and pop it out and then put it onto something.
Yeah.
You cannot, there's quite a few things. Actually, those are just really the two things that I miss. But other than that, yeah, and Illustrator I've used in the past. Illustrator was even more, they make those programs so you have to like know how to use them, and
the thing is, I love YouTube for that because whenever I have an issue with Photoshop, and like the thing is, I use it so infrequently that when I go back in to do something, I've forgotten how to do it.
You're like, how do I do that?
Right? So then I go to YouTube and I watch the tutorial videos.
Well, yeah, back in the day, they didn't have that. You just had to figure that shit out. Or
I have to read the directions?
Corey, you bought a still for making essential oils, and it's supposed to be there Friday. I'm going to also be there Friday. I
claim the hammock.
Talk because
I don't care. You two can steal all you want. I'm going to lay in a goddamn hammock all day long.
Right. That's what I'm doing. Well, I didn't get a still, and what I did, I found that you can infuse herbs into oil by just time, right?
Yeah.
And I decided to go the quick route, which you grind up your herb, and then you put a very small amount of grain alcohol, which it extracts. It helps make all the volatile stuff become bioavailable to the oil. Mm-hmm. And this oil is so green. It's like green.
I know. I saw it.
It's so beautiful. And of course, then I put it in an amber bottle so you can't see it. But it helps to keep the life of oil to have it in an amber bottle. So
exactly.
You got to extend it. But also, so the other thing that the alcohol does, which I haven't been into a liquor store in a long time, and I go in there and I'm like, I'm looking for Everclear. And then I had to like explain that I'm not just going to drink the Everclear, that I'm making. Like I had to like make sure they knew.
Oh God.
Because that's my Virgo showing. Like, please don't judge me. I am actually making something. I'm a legitimate person.
I'd be like, yes, I'm gonna drink it. Fuck you. No.
Yeah. Right? Hawthorne and Honey. I think I follow her. I used to work with her in an apothecary, and she's so knowledgeable. Yeah, I got my I love following herbalists. I learned so much, and I haven't made a lot of products. I use a lot of teas and infusions. You know, infusions are very simple and they're available to everyone, and they're free and easy for the most part, you know, and teas can get you very far. You don't need a tincture more often. You don't need all, you know, and to be honest, you could brew, you could probably make bath teas out of this and soak in it and have really good things for your skin happen too. But it does take a lot more herb, and it's not as concentrated as a constituent. So that kind of thing. But yeah, I love herbalism. I think herbs can do so many things for us, clearly.
Oh yeah.
So I got my herbalist diploma a long, long time ago, like 20 years ago. And I just dabble, you know, and I make things. And then I started growing my herbs myself. And now I'm just kind of playing with whatever comes to me. And this red clover plant just kind of volunteered in my yard, and I just plucked it out and put it in my herb spiral, and it has just exploded and blossomed, and it's very exciting.
What we are doing this fall is this is the last year that the kids have the swing set in the backyard because they've outgrown it. Mm-hmm. And it's literally like 12 years old. And prior to that, it was given to us by one of my clients who was like, my kids have outgrown this. Would you like this? So it's gone on, you know? So I'm like, okay, it's time. It's falling apart. So we are going to burn it this fall. And next spring, I'm planting a spiral garden. So I'm trying to the perma, whatever it is. So I'm trying
the spiral, herb spiral. So, if you guys don't know what that is, I highly recommend them.
So I'm trying to learn more about it so I can just plan out the architecture of it, but plan out the planting of it as well. It's going to go over by one of my Japanese maple trees. So are you going
to make like a massive one? You're going to make like a huge one, or?
You know, I'm not small, you know. Go home, baby.
Right. I know mine's small. It's not
I don't tiny. Think yours is small. I think yours is small.
It's like I don't know if you can. It's like a double one. I made it kind of like this, but the bottom doesn't have a spiral in it. So it's not completely finished. I pulled brick out of my yard. Like I didn't really, and then I got some free brick, and then I
love it.
Anyways.
I love it.
Yeah. I usually just pull things together. Yes. Bath teas.
One of my main goals, like if we decide to stay here, I'd love to put French doors on my office, you know, where that one window is that goes to the backyard. I'd love for there to be French doors there. And then have a patio, and then you can walk out, and then there's my spiral garden. And then I want wisteria growing all over the grates and all that stuff on my patio. I've got goals.
Yes. No, I think it's important to have visions. And you're in your 12th house time, right?
12th house, yes. Girl.
So everything's germinating.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how it is. It's like this. I mean, I was just there earlier this pandemic. I was in my 12th house, and it has like this feeling of like low level, like it's like visionary. If you can get the flow of the visionary, it's really good. And then I would get hit with the feeling of anxiety, which by the way, I don't think ends, like, cause I'm in my second house now. And
I don't think either, because it's still newness, right? So you're still, I don't think.
Yeah, so like I'm still getting hits every once in a while. They don't feel the same as the 12th house hits of anxiety, like.
Right.
I will
tell you, I agree with the feelings of anxiety, but for me, they're feelings of creative anxiety. Like,
it's like, potency.
Like here's this idea right now. You need to do it right now. You know.
Yeah. And then you have to be like, okay, no, I don't have to do everything right now.
Exactly.
I chose what I was going to do. I need to remember to focus and honor the choices I made.
That is
because this isn't fully cooked yet.
Yes, and that's what's going on. So it's like literally,
I'm gonna have a train.
I have been up between 3 and 4 o'clock every morning, just like being creative, you know.
It's my train. It actually didn't blow its horn this time. Thanks, train. Carrie says 12th house, I'm here. Yeah, 12th house, questioning how I am going to do what I need to do and doubting myself. It's crazy how without the thoughts, I mean, I'm not sure. I always think like, okay, where did my thoughts come from? Whose voice are they in? A lot of my doubtful thoughts are in like my mother's voice. Bless her heart. But she had a lot of influence on me around risk taking and like how I'm, doing and so, oh no. Y'all can still see me. Marilyn has frozen. Yes. Anxiety is just a vibration. It's interesting. And that's the thing is like, you have these thoughts like, oh, I'm not okay. And then you just get to work with those thoughts. It's the emotion. I'm not sure, Amanda, if you're, oh no. Yeah, she left. I listen to a lot of the Life Coach School podcast, and she talks a lot about the emotions being feelings and being willing to feel any of those feelings, right? And anxiety is just this anxiousness, this wanting. Hi, you're back. Good.
I don't know what happened there.
And it's like we're vibrating at different frequencies, and then we gotta vibe it up. Hi, this is Evelyn. How are you?
You
Can
know,
you say hi?
Hi, baby. I have figured out in my 12th house now, I don't ask the questions anymore. I stopped asking the questions, and I was just like, what? You're throwing this at me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try it, and I'm going to do it. Throwing this idea at me, I'm going to try and figure out how to bring it into fruition. I stopped asking the questions, and I stopped asking, which direction am I supposed to go in? I'm kind of just letting the 12th house guide me. You know?
Well, and that's like that. That's so good because it's one of the hard things to do. It's like easy to say and hard to do, but it's like when you're in the dark, and that's the point of it. When you're in the dark, feeling your way through things and just trusting. It takes you consistently. You're given this opportunity and a choice. Like, am I going to trust or am I going to freak out and shut down?
It's like fight or flight, right? Fight or flight.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you're repatterning. And I think the 12th house is where we start to repattern every year that nervous system baseline. Yeah. And I love that I had the knowing, because I started the work right before I went into my 12th house.
Right.
And I have like a really long one. And so I'm really grateful that I had I'm in my 12th house.
I'm just so grateful for it because remember, I told you like every summer I seem to start a new project, and I'm like, okay, well, this is just my new project time. But now I know why this is my new project time. It's because of house transference and how they're breaking up. And the Aries is right there, and it's like, okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, okay. And but I didn't know that before. I just resonated with the fact where, oh, okay, well, summer is probably just I get that fire in me, and I'm like, okay, let's do something.
Well, and as a witch, right, we're following the wheel of the year. We're following that kind of natural progression of the seasons, and to kind of shift my mind around saying, okay, but I experience it a little bit different because I'm in a different house than the seasons are, and like, how do I experience this? And I'm closer than some charts are totally flipped. And I'm seeing planetarian child. You're asking, how do I know what house I'm in? So if you get your natal chart from any of the sources, but really astro-charts.com is really great. If somebody that's in the lab wants to put that link in the comments, there's it's really just knowing where your house is, the degrees at which your houses end. And I created this, like, I mean, it's really based on the Book of Houses. If you go and get the Book of Houses, you can totally find this workout.
Which is an extremely interesting book in itself. But then, when you add it to all of the work that we're doing in the Astro Lab, and you kind of put the two pieces together, along with your chart, along with learning about the lunar and the solar and all that stuff, it makes it just adds a deeper depth into that piece, and allows you to have the courage to explore astrology without worrying about, am I wrong? Am I
I love
astrology.
That's what it's done for me. And
right? That's what astrology is all about. It's about that exploration. It's about going down the rabbit holes. It's about figuring out, learning as much as you can fucking learn, but then finding that key that connects it all together to you, you know? And the one thing that just came to mind for me is that I think I am in my 12th house right now, and we're going into Lammas, which is first harvest, right?
Yes.
So for me, I believe that every house that I'm entering into happens around some kind of harvest or some kind of wheel change of the year. So mine may just be, boop, okay, we're getting fucking ready. This is the first harvest and you're finishing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's really funny how it's happening, but I never ever would have noticed had I not really dug in with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I'm finding that too. And it's just been, it's been really, really cool to have an excuse to really keep doing it. I actually printed out my moon, cause I mean, like, I create these worksheets and stuff, and then I'm like, you know how easy it is as a creator, like, you just put things out and but because of everybody sharing, it's like I'm also doing the work, which, you know,
it's like having Circle holding space, but you're holding space. You're not necessarily participating in that later,
and getting to,
you know? Exactly.
So, and like, even though like I totally, like, I did the whole Mercury one, and like I said, I need to do the moon one. And I keep encouraging other people to do them that's in the lab, because I'm like, I need to sit down and do it. I need to make time, because I learned a lot from actually doing it. Just do it. Even if it's like, oh yeah, this is an interesting thought. Like, I had never had this thought about my chart.
Yes.
And
that's exactly
I just did never.
It takes you down a whole nother path, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I didn't think about that before. And then sometimes I noticed, oh, well, look at this path. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I got to put you on hold, because I'm on this path now. And I want to concentrate. I want to finish this shit over here before I hit you, you know?
Well, and that's my challenge too, because like, I try and make I'm making the Leo content and the sun sign content right now. That's what I started working on this week, because it drops on Monday of next week. So, like, I'm, you know, ahead in that regard. And then I write astrology, and I'm writing astrology for Virgo season.
And then you're doing a little pamphlet. And so you're kind of.
So I'm like on these multiple timelines.
Exactly.
But I'm trying. So the Astro Lab keeps me present, because if I do that, when I do that work, I'm here.
Right. And then, you know, to go back to the creation of things in the summer, I never put it to the fact that I am Leo ascendant. And this is exactly what's hitting right now. This is what is going on. Summertime is when I blossom, I bloom, I shine. And it's because of that Leo. You know, but I never would have hit on that. Even with all my studying and everything, I still may not put the two together without diving into the houses. You know what I mean?
I do know, because I'm a Gemini rising, but my Gemini rising is at 26 degrees. So it's like, I have 4 degrees before it go. And most of my first house is Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no wonder I'm a sappy bitch. I just never thought of it until I started doing this work. And I was like, oh, that is so interesting.
But that's
and then
the things I love most about you.
Well, I always wondered, I was like, where does this come from? I mean, of course, like I'm very empathetic. I have, there's lots of reasons to cry and to feel people and all those things, but it's very interesting. Oh, Amanda read somebody's chart yesterday who was a triple Gemini. That is intense.
I think
that is t-shirt material. I'm going to write that down. Sappy bitch. It's going to be a tree. It'll be a maple tree that says sappy bitch on it. I sure
don't want to make it a weeping willow.
No. Oh my God. It's a whole series. Weepy bitch, sappy bitch. We're doing it. You guys got more ideas? Put them in there. We're going to do it. I'll make the designs on Canva and you can just download them, put them on your t-shirt.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, so that was a piece of cake. Yeah, I bet the triple Gemini is listening to that, I don't know if you record, but like at 2 times the speed, because I doubt you could talk fast enough for a triple Gemini. They're like, today, Junior, get on with it. Watch yourselves. Say more. Yeah, I know. Okay, so what is happening today? And Lunasa is happening soon. Lunasa is really August 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
August. You know what? Because I like to celebrate things in threes, I celebrate it from July 31st all the way to August 2nd.
There we go. And part of it, my daughter's decided to take a hoe to the front yard. At least she has clothes on today. So we're winning as parents today. So Lunasa is also so each wheel of the year has an astrological date as well.
Yeah.
And the cross quarters, like Imbolc and Lunasa, they are at the 15 degrees. So astrologically, it happens at 15 degrees Leo. So there's like an astronomical date of it. But yes, it's easier to just be like, and I always think of it but sometimes, so I want to see like when it is. So it's actually the 7th of August this year. Just randomly.
Whatevs.
I know.
I like to celebrate it on that first weekend. Let's just put it that way.
Well, and what's lovely about this,
you want to celebrate on the weekend,
Yeah, and this one actually falls on the weekend, which is lovely. So, because the 31st is Friday, and then we have the full moon in Aquarius on Monday.
Right. 3rd. Right.
So it's a powerful weekend coming up.
Yeah, that's when I'm doing my. That's right. It is. That's when I'm doing my full moon. On Facebook is on the 3rd.
Are you on Monday?
Yeah, I haven't put it on my events yet, but I'm going to do that today. And I'm probably not starting until like 8, so everybody can get home, eat dinner, blah, 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 yada, yada. And we will be celebrating Lammas. So we will be celebrating the union of God-Goddess. And in some mythology, in some pantheons, it's the god Lu who sacrifices himself into the grain. And the union is about the goddess of death coming and cutting that grain. So Lu is sacrificing, she's cutting. And then, so you have the two of them coming together. And the first harvest is all about taking in and being grateful for the abundance of that harvest. Not only that, like we talked about cutting the hair, it's about having that harvest so you can get more for the second and third harvest that are coming from a bone and sell.
Yeah, it's like you get a first cutting so that you encourage the growth.
Exactly. And
Yes.
because the god Lu is sacrificing himself into the grain, you're supposed to make like bread and things like that. But the one thing you're supposed to focus on is sharing that abundance. So a lot of times in a lot of different paths, people use Lunasa as a sharing day. So they'll have big gatherings and everybody brings something to eat, drink. And not only that, but some people will take things, their magical tools and stuff that they're not using anymore, and bring it to a community table so they can find another person to go to that might need them. Which I love that idea too.
Can we put that on the calendar for next year when we're not in a pandemic?
Yes.
We need to have like that sounds just amazing. Yes. I'm sure that they do that. We should do that.
Yes, for sure. And I love the whole sharing out. I love big gatherings, number one.
Yeah, me too.
We're Virgos. We're Virgos. That's
yes.
We're like, come over to our sacred space, sit down, relax, fall asleep.
Yeah.
Let me keep you forever. You know what I mean? So
here's this. I will feed you.
Exactly. I will feed you. I will give you wine. I will make you happy. Yeah. This is what I do.
I love it.
I love that stuff. And especially the celebrating outside with the long tables and everybody gathering and the crazy kids running around and all that. Fucking love it, you know?
I fucking love it too.
You know,
love it. I've been talking, I really just, which commune?
Yes, girl. I know. And we will make this happen some way or another. You and I have these amazing ideas.
I know. Where's your Gemini again? What's in your Gemini situation?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me grab my binder.
Your binder. I know. I have this binder.
I made my binder.
I love it. I made my binder too because I was inspired. You all were making binders, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna fucking make a binder."
I made one.
Why haven't I made a binder? It's my favorite binder. I love binders. I miss school only for the supplies.
Oh my god, the smell of this fucking office supply store.
It's like second to libraries and old bookshops. That's.
I walk into a library, I'm like, oh, I think I just orgasmed.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Okay, so my Gemini is partially in my 10th house and partially in my 11th house. So it's kind of right in the middle. And
11th house.
What do I have?
Right, because you had your harvest through it. Did you have planets there?
I do. I have Saturn in my Gemini. And I think that's, hold on, I think that's it. I think that's what I have there. Hold on. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I know, you're like, let's have a class.
I know. I know we didn't have one last week because I was like, and now we're gonna have a class on Wednesday. Are you coming Wednesday evening? It's not evening. It's like 4:00.
Oh, you know I'll be there.
I know. I'm excited.
I've got all I have is, well, not all, but I've got Gemini and Saturn in my 11th house. And the funny thing is that I think that it's so funny because they contradict each other. Like I have to really be careful.
Right, there's like an expansion and a contraction like going on.
Yes, and so sometimes when I feel that the key to that is I have to be aware of what I say. And even though I'm thinking of how I want to direct someone's life, I have to realize this is not my life. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, and also like watching the language usage, I think, language is powerful. This is like the magic of Gemini in general and Mercurial, and, Mercury rules Gemini too. So it's like, it's one of those that where, like, it's like making sure you discern which language you're going to use, You know, what's the difference between liberation and freedom?
Exactly.
What's the difference between, you know, red and maroon? What's the difference between, you know, when you're using words to describe reality, like how
Exactly.
consistent can we get, you know?
And I also have Mercury in my Virgo. So it is, you know, so it is, I mean, they are definitely working together. And I believe that's one of the reasons why I love research. Anything I can research, I research. Doesn't mean I retain all of it, but I definitely research.
Right. You put it in a binder, which is very, Amanda says, yes, very good for Gemini Saturn. So let's pull some cards. Do you want to pull some cards?
Yes.
We have, let me read to you a little bit about the cosmic weather of today, because we actually have, Chiron's doing some things. I told you what happened, and I can't remember now. Let's see.
You did. It was a text message. So.
Right. Like I did that right and I don't know. I won't be able to replicate because that's how downloads work.
Write it down. Like, oh, whatever.
Well, that's why I do these things. They help me a lot. But so today's the 28th.
Yeah. Already, girl.
Already. I know. It's almost August, ladies. Okay, so Sun in Leo trine, Chiron retrograde in Aries. That's what's happening. And Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn is squaring Lilith in Aries. So one of the things that's happening is that Lilith, who is not just the mother of demons and my heart, but she was Adam's first wife who said, no, I want to have pleasure from my sex and you're not going to just like hump me. And I'm going to go and I'm going to leave. And then, and then the myth is that maybe she came back as the snake and told Eve, like, hey, you're being manipulated. Why don't you take a bite of that apple?
Exactly.
And get the fuck out of here.
I would have to say that Lilith is definitely my top 3. And I fucking love her because of her sexual freedom. And she's like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want. And yeah, I am going to get off. And this is not just for having babies, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
No. This body is wired for pleasure. I have 8,000 nerve endings in my clit, and you're not going to be in control of that.
Exactly.
So Lilith is traveling with Mars, and Mars is in Aries, which is it's like its place. And this is why there's so much anger, I think, in a lot of people's their edges are really angry. So, you know, arguing on the internet for this whole rest of the year is highly unsuggested, whatever that word is. What is that word?
It's completely unproductive as well.
It's unproductive because you're not the jerk whisperer. You're not going to change people's minds with your, however brilliant your thoughts are. Even though, listen, I try that all the time. It will not stop me from posting about Black Lives Matter, feminist women. It will not stop me. It will not stop me. People, I'm just weeding them out because people are leaving and blocking me. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Whatever, girl.
Next. Yeah, no, it's perfect. Okay, so a trine to Chiron is a beacon of healing light today. Sometimes this is a blessing in disguise. Take care that you allow yourself time to process heavy emotions. You will grow if you do the shadow work that is cast by the light. So, and Jupiter squaring Lilith in Aries, it can create feelings of martyring or victimhood. So if you actually are starting to feel like, wow, I'm a victim of my circumstance, just watch yourself around that. That's what can, kind of all of a sudden blow up. That's, Jupiter expands things. So if you're feeling any kind of victimhood, from the people who are blocking you.
Yeah. Well,
let it go.
It's you do have to let it go. And you have to realize that you are allowing these people to make you feel this way too. Like you're choosing to allow yourself to feel this way because of the manipulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fuck that. You're giving them power. Fuck that.
Yeah. Take your power back. You got to take your power back. Just like Rage Against the Machine said.
All right. We already have a question.
Yeah, we got a question.
That was Survival of, I fucking love that IG name, by the way. Ask, what is this teaching me?
That's Awa. What is this teaching me? All right, let's do this.
Do this, baby girl.
What is this teaching me? Today's astrology or just in general, like, what is this teaching you? Yeah, no question box for me. I'm a little lost on some personal issue. We'll keep putting them in. We'll scroll back and get people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want a card, put it in. You can put it in the question box, or you can put it in the thing. We'll get to them. All right. Sensuous revival. What is this teaching me? This is teaching you to take swift creative action, to make your decisions quickly and without apology.
Okay.
What'd you get?
2 of them fell out, actually. And I got the Hermit in reverse. So it's definitely time for the coming out of that introspection and cave and coming into the light. And then I've got the Ace of Cups. So it is all about finding those new ways of emotion, expressing those new emotions. And that's not just always love either, by the way. We can find ways to express our happiness differently. We can find ways to express our sensuality differently. So if you are thinking that you still need to hide, that King of Wands is saying, no. And the Hermit's like, fuck no. And then the Ace of Cups is like, oh, masturbate. Shut up. Just go do it.
Yeah. Yes. Quickly now. Quickly. All right. Okay. There are some in the thing. We'll grab Amber. If you can use the boxes, use those because that helps us. Amber says, no question. Let's see. I'm a little lost on some personal issue and just need a little guidance. Little guidance for Amber. This one. 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords just reminds us of all of the intuition and like feeling, sensing that is available to us. And how often we kind of abandon ourselves because we're just in protective survival mode. So if you've kind of gotten into fight or flight, working with your body so you can get back into that parasympathetic space, into that heart-centered space, so you can make decisions from there. And you know, if your mind is a terrible place to be right now because you're like kind of spiraling, you know, just notice that either way can be true. I want you to pull your card, but it's one of those things where when we think about the future, we can worst case scenario it, and that's just as delusional as saying the best possible scenario is going to happen.
Yes.
Both are delusional. Both
right.
are delusional.
I got the Prince of Pentacles, and he's in reverse. So when your princes are in reverse, it means, hey, and I love it that it came with the 2 of Swords, because it's like, hey, you know what? You don't always have to do that action right now. Sometimes it's okay to really sit for a moment in the moment and consider what your 2 options really are. You know, and not just logically, but allow that logic to connect with that physical being and that intuition as well. And you can't go wrong because you'll feel it. You'll feel that decision and you'll feel what you need to do, right?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. You're welcome. Crystal Wands. Yes. I'm moving to a new home on Saturday, wondering what's in store. Let's see. Oh, Sensuous Rival put one in here too. Let's go to Laura. I don't have a question, but I want answers. The answer is Alex Trebek. And the question is, all right. I just watched John Oliver's latest anyways. I highly recommend his show for the news. He's doing good newsworthy work.
Oh, is he?
He is. Okay. You don't have questions, but you want answers. Stop defending yourself without knowing your power, right? So when you're just like flailing, this is 7 of Wands really is like, you're in a position of power, so you can own it or you can defend yourself. You make that choice all of the time. So which makes you feel, but you definitely have the upper hand right now.
Okay, I got the 2 of Cups in reverse here for you. And so when that comes with that 7 of Wands, not only think about the defending of yourself, but also I want you to remember you don't always have to put yourself on the sacrificial rock either. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You don't always have to allow somebody else to win. If you feel as though you need to fight for this thing that you're fighting for, then do so, because it's your emotion that is saying, hey, this needs to happen, you know?
Right. Yeah. In a lot of ways with the 2 of Cups, it's definitely like defending your boundaries and maybe even your emotional boundaries. It's like, do not allow somebody to, you know, get into your space and take over.
Exactly. And don't give all that shit up just to appease somebody, man. Don't do that.
We pulled that last time, apparently. Amazing. Okay. Let's see. Corey could use a relationship card.
Ooh.
Let's do it. 6 of Cups.
Nice.
So yeah, 6 of Cups is this generous kind of space. I actually pulled this for one of the, I'm doing all the governor's statements and pulling cards for that. All the governor primaries. I'm like, let's see. Anyways, so the 6 of Cups is, you know, clearly it's the next level of the 3 of Cups, which is kind of this multiplied good emotion, generous heart, you know, this space of giving and being kind of neighborly, obviously. And so it's really just saying, like, maybe add some compassion, maybe, you know, if there is a struggle in the relationship, if something is off, adding love to it instead of the opposite, right? Get into that really generous space. Or, you know, if you're not really having your needs met, ask for what you need and give the other person opportunity to be the 6 of Cups for you, right? So it can come both ways.
So I got the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is always, he talks about, you know, looking at things from a different perspective. It is looking outside of the box. And when he's connected to that 6 of Cups, you know, which talks about remembrance and past emotional connections and things like that, maybe it's time to start thinking, you know what? I don't need those past remembrances. I don't need that. I need to start thinking of new ways to blossom this relationship, even if that relationship is with you. Just because things happened in the past that made you happy doesn't mean that you need to keep doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Just allow yourself to be free and think outside the box.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. That 2 of Swords was wearing Converse. It's the coolest 2 of Swords I've ever seen. Okay, let's see. We got Stefananda. Not sure what to ask, so show me what I don't know yet. What's my blind spot? Is there a song for that?
I don't know, but we should make one. In Canva.
What the fuck don't I know?
A lot.
A lot. Listen, we don't have that kind of time today, Steph. I fucking love you so much, Stephanie. Okay. What don't you know? Oh my. I'm all.
Oh boy.
It's like, okay, so it's the Tower reverse, which means, you know, something's coming, you're not going to be able to stop it. So you shouldn't worry about it. And it's probably, it will be kind of like something that will surprise you. Let's see what Marilyn gets.
You're going to have something that's going to kind of blow your mind, actually.
Okay.
You've got the 4 of Swords in reverse, which is saying, okay, this is a first of all, a mental and expressive foundation that's going to be ripped up, which goes with the Tower. Amazing.
Yeah, totally. Well, internal.
Right, but don't fucking overthink it. Don't overthink it, because that leads to anxiety, which leads you to not allowing that flow to happen. So just please go forward.
Practice yoga. Remember that when things fall away, this is the medicine of the Tower, is that when things fall away, they're done.
Yeah.
You know how I know that should have happened? Because it did. You know how I know your mind should have changed? Because it did. You know how I know that, I mean, medicine comes through in different ways.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
All right.
Sometimes
Looks by Lou.
That tower's one of the best things that can happen.
I agree. Because sometimes we don't have the strength or courage or knowledge to take things out of our life. Yep. So the universe says, okay, these two things can't exist together. So I'm going to cut this one out because I got something else. Yes. I got something coming and you're not going to need this. And you'll be like, but that's my backpack. It's full of all my things. And you'll be like, don't worry. I got you. You're going to get better things. Yes. Don't worry. You got everything inside anyways. And okay, so Looks by Lou.
Everything happens orgasmically. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. It's not necessarily for a reason because fucked up shit happens. It's not love and light, man. It's not just because you're vibrating and you attract shit to you. Sometimes the tower happens, right? Because towers have been built and sometimes they're built on sand. And that's okay. We just didn't know when we built the tower that it wasn't on a good foundation. And all right. So Looks by Lou. I don't know if she asked a question. Please pull a card to me. Ask, do I have the conversation now or should I have it after leaving the state? Timing questions. Mm-hmm. I'm just like tossing cards. I got 7 of Pentacles reversed.
Okay.
So to me, this means that you want to wait probably until later to have this conversation, take it slow and steady, maybe even contemplate like what pieces you don't know yet. I think this is, this is a wait and see card.
Right. I love that. Don't harvest your stuff yet. And I got the 2 of Pentacles, which talks about, taking that time to, once again, make that decision. You have to do I like to look at it as a pros and cons list. So sit down, write down your pros and cons list about, having the conversation now versus having it later. Don't make that full decision yet. You'll know when that time is that you're supposed to have this talk.
Yes. Okay. And then Morechild, I see you said this one's for me, that one's for my friends. So I don't know if you asked for a card and we missed it. I don't see it. I think you were like receiving the cards messages that we pulled. So let me know if that's true. We have time. We're going to do one more. Planetarian Child. All right. No question. Just want some personal guidance on how I'm doing as a parent, I guess. I want to be the best I can be.
You're doing amazing.
You're doing amazing.
You're your best. Period.
Yeah. Yes. And Amanda, we didn't see yours. I'm sorry. I will go back and scroll. So, and we probably have like 3 minutes left.
Or just repost this, Amanda.
Yeah, repost it. 9 of Wands for whether or not you're a good parent. Planetarian Child. Listen. So the 9 of Wands is like, you have done your creative work. You've created these kids. By the way, they have to do their own work. They're going to show you the way. So this is a reminder that, you can do all the things and that doesn't stop your kids from being who they are. So you have to stop taking responsibility for them being like all the things. And like, to me, this is like, you've done your work. You've done the creative work. Like, I don't know how much more you can do.
Okay. I got the 7 of Swords in reverse. All right. So, if you are a parent that wants to solve all the stuff for your children, don't solve all the stuff for your children anymore. And it's really hard because as parents, we don't want to see them fall. We don't want to see them hurt, but we have to remember how we learned our lessons, unfortunately. So don't try and solve all of their things for them. But also don't allow them to put the blame upon you either, because they need to acknowledge their own responsibility too. I hope that.
And I don't know how old they are, like if they're clearly if they're babies, like we're not endorsing just letting them figure out their shit. But yes, the cards say like you can't blame yourself for the things that don't go right.
Yeah.
Just love them.
Yeah.
Just love them. You created them from love. All right. Amanda Root says, how will Thursday night go? Well, this just came out. Four of Swords. So Four of Swords is like, this is you torturing yourself with all the what if scenarios. So if this is what you're doing, I'm going to pull another card because that just popped right out. But do you want to go first?
Okay. I got